Hey YouTube, I just wanted to share a few predictions that I have about what's going to be occurring here soon in America and around the world. I'm not sure that I'm going to be correct, but I'm going to share anyway because this stuff is weighing on me, and I know it's weighing on a lot of you. If you're watching, there's a reason why. It's probably because you sense something's coming as well. So I just want to kind of take my stab at it and what I think is happening. I want to be very clear that I'm not saying thus saith the Lord. I'm not giving a prophetic warning per se. I am simply sharing what I believe is on the horizon. And I wouldn't even consider myself a watchman. I don't consider myself a prophet. I do operate in the prophetic. I do have the spiritual gift of prophecy, but the Lord selects when that will activate. And so I don't claim to know, to have some insight from God, but about what I'm about to say. And yet I believe it. I believe that this is what's coming. So I believe that our civilization and society as we know it is about to collapse. And the reason that I think that it's about to collapse is because there's so much unrest and disagreement that we can't align on any values or beliefs anymore. We don't have, society is so fractured. We don't have anything that we can come together on anymore. When I was growing up, that was not the case. There was a lot of things, especially morality, that we could agree upon. And regardless of what faith you had or what side of the political aisle you were on, now things are so fragmented that it's impossible for us to find common ground. And a nation that's divided against itself, Christ said, shall not stand. And this nation is no different. I also believe that this collapse is going to happen really quick, because I think it's been happening. I think it's been in process for many years now, and then suddenly it's just going to come down like a great big building that they're demolition crew that's working on the building. It takes them forever to get everything set. It takes them forever to get everything in place, and finally when they blow it up, it comes down so quickly. But people don't see how long it took for all the pieces to get in place and all the things to be taken out of place that would allow the building to collapse. Now, I'm no engineer, so I can't explain to you the details. But what I can say about society is that we are at this place right now where I think a lot of people have no idea. It's like the frog in the boiling pot of water. We don't realize how hot the temp has gotten. And I think that the button's about to get pressed and the whole building's going to come down, so to speak. Now, what does this mean? Well, it means that we need to be thinking ahead. It means that we need to be preparing. And I'm not a prepper. I don't have like a great big stockpile in a bunker somewhere, but I do prepare. And I would encourage you to do the same. I think that preppers are on a whole different level. Those that have bunkers and have, secret, layers out in the middle of the forest, which, hey, more power to them. If I could afford it, I would totally do it. But I just want to encourage you, if you're watching this, just to prepare. Get some water purifying tablets. Get some pasta. When you go to the store and you buy pasta, buy an extra box. Get some Mylar bags. You can put pasta and rice in those. That'll last for 20 plus years once you've sealed it. So it's a great resource to have. Get ammunition. If you're watching this and you're like, well, I don't believe in guns, you're probably on the wrong channel anyway. Just to be honest with you, it's not that, I'm a big gun toter and I'm going to be preaching about guns, but if you're offended by the idea of having guns, this channel isn't for you. But get ammunition, stockpile ammunition, and make sure that your guns are in good working condition. Make sure they're clean. Take them to the range occasionally. Make sure that you're staying dialed in and focused. And then have a family plan. What are you going to do when everything comes down? What are you going to do when the grocery stores, their shelves are empty because they can't get new product? And now you say, well, why would that happen? Well, you remember back in 2020 with the toilet paper shortage, and it was actually, I've read since then from several sources that was actually based on a rumor. That out west there was a rumor that started that said that there was a toilet paper shortage. So everybody across America eventually started going and getting all the toilet paper, but there was never a shortage. And so when there's the next crisis that's going to set it off, and there's going to be a spark, just like with the demolition crew, they hit a button, there's going to be an explosion of some sort, whether it's another pandemic or whether it's war actually here in America, where I'm not talking about we were overseas somewhere, but I'm talking about bombs in our own skies. Something's going to ignite this collapse, and then it's going to be I don't want to say all hell's going to break loose, because that's the 7-year tribulation, but it's going to be pretty close to it. There's not going to be anything for us to get, because everything's going to get disrupted. We saw back in 2020, and I get so tired of people pretending and looking back and romanticizing as if all the good in people came out. Let me tell you something. People in 2020 showed the true nature of humanity without Christ. Everybody was for themselves. People were going everywhere and getting as much toilet paper as they can, not to share it with others, but to hoard it for themselves. And when food is on the line, and when water is on the line, good luck. If you think, well, I got some neighbors that I talk to and I casually wave at, wait till the crap hits the fan. And good luck trying to get something then. Good luck trying to get that neighbor to even come to their door, let alone to lend you things that you need. They're thinking about themselves and their own families, because we are an incredibly selfish society. That's all there is to it. We haven't always been this way. We are now. I live in the society too. It's affected me as well. Without Christ, without grace, I would be the absolute chief of them all. I mean, I really would, because I get the mentality. I understand it. When I see people around me acting that way, there's a part of my nature that goes in the survival mode that says, I will absolutely do whatever it takes to protect my family and to make sure that we have what we need. And so there's that survival instinct that isn't from the Spirit of God. That's of my flesh, but the Spirit of God is what keeps that in check and reminds me, look outward, look at others, make sure that others have what they need. That's not my own moral compass or because I'm a good person. I'm not. It's because of the Spirit of God in me. He's the only one that's good. And we always forget that. As Christians, it drives me crazy, because when they approached Jesus and they said, hey, good teacher, he said, why do you call me good? There's only one good, and that's God. And for some reason, we discard everything that we learned in the Gospels and Romans, that there's nobody who's good. No, not one. God looks across the earth. He can't find anybody who's righteous, any who do what's right all the time, because our hearts are so wicked. Read Jeremiah. What's our heart condition? They are deceitful and wicked. This is why we need grace. This is why we need Christ. This is why we need the Spirit of God, because on our own, we're damned and we deserve it. But he doesn't leave us in that place. He wants to rescue us. He wants to transform us from the inside out, that we would die, like Paul in Galatians 2:20, crucified with Christ, nevertheless living, not us, but Christ in us. That's the goal. Back to the collapse. People are going to lose it. They're going to snap, because people are already on edge, because they haven't been able to make ends meet. Why haven't they been able to make ends meet? Because of inflation. Why do we have so much inflation and high interest rates? Because of the collapse. Because of the rot that's been taking place for decades that we have not paid attention to. And now it's all going to come crashing down. And when it comes crashing down, what are we going to do? Well, a lot of people are going to wait till that moment to say, okay, now we need to get things in order. It's too late. It's everybody for themselves in this society. So my advice to you now is to prepare. Get some things that you need, practical things. Purifying water tablets, ammunition, food, those kinds of things. And then make sure that those around you are doing the same thing. It's very practical things. obviously, we need to make sure that our hearts are in the right place. We need to make sure that our spirits are right with God. We need to make sure that we're preparing spiritually. And so if you're not doing that, but you do everything else, it ain't going to do you any good, because you're going to act like everybody else in society. And that's not going to be good. But if our hearts are right before God, we're depending on Him, we're leaning on Him, we're in the Word, we are doing everything that we can to die to self and allow Him to live. Friends, we're going to be lights. We are going to be lights in this dark world, in this dark society when the collapse happens. And I believe it's right around the corner. I would not be surprised if things popped off today. And by popped off, I mean that we get an announcement that there's a new pandemic, or we get an announcement that there's some impending crisis that we're not going to be able to avoid. Or, and this would be the worst case scenario in my mind, all of a sudden there's bombs going off in certain cities. Because there's an act of war happening right here in America. For whatever reason, this is so, it's so heavy on me, is that people really believe that we can't be touched, that America can't have bombs going off in it, that we can't have war in our streets. Who the heck do you think you are? Do you really think we're invincible? Do you really think we're different than the other 200 whatever countries that are out there in the world? We're not. We aren't. The rules apply to us just as much as anybody else. And so I think we're going to see it. That's it. That's all that I wanted to rant today. But looking around, I realize we are very close to this. So please prepare. Prepare your hearts, prepare your homes, prepare your families, your loved ones. Make sure that people have what they need and have a plan if and when things do collapse. And if I'm wrong about this, praise God. I'll be the first to get on here and be like, I was totally wrong, guys. Look, everything turned around. I would love that. On the current trajectory, that's not the way things are going. And so let's just be wise as serpents and innocent as doves. I love you guys. I'll see you guys again on here. Again, I don't know why. I just felt compelled to share this. I didn't plan on sharing this today. But we'll see what happens with this channel and where it goes. And I'll get back on here some other time and rant. So if you listen to this long, thank you. Make sure that you like, subscribe, and we'll see you again on here very soon.